Okay, BO1.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're getting one hell of a matchup out of the way early. It's seriously seed number 1 versus seed number 2. Like, I think that is the big storyline heading into all of this here. Big Frame's literally just hot off of winning, absolutely just dismantling the French Canadians 16-2 or 13-2,
which was which is just a nuts result just on its own. But we already start off our action with just a little bit of recon here from the attacking side, and Loner.
Interesting to know. Bomb is already making his way.
Right, absolutely. Already a lot of damage being made onto Cutler before he even gets to see a singular player. Really big work. Tripwire already going to go down. Welshie waiting up.
They're sending out a bunch of drones right now. Cutler, even low on HP, is able to find a kill onto Bjor. Bjor, I mean, look, having the Sage go down as a first person is absolutely terrible, but the fact that there's 2 more where that came from onto Welshie and Dev is probably even worse. Sub Rosa, for good measure, also gets in on some of the action, taking down Nerve, and suddenly it's Loner versus World, but the World just absolutely crushes him. What was that?
Just good patience coming out from the defender side, because I mean, honestly, I mean, these attackers, they use all of their equipment insanely early. So then at that point, it just came down to the gun battles, and even then, the defenders didn't really use anything except for the Cypher over on that B site. So there you go. That's gonna be a clean round there for the defenders, and now they really have everything to work with. This round should not be too great for the attackers, but again, we're still trying to figure out what's a good round and what isn't in the game of Valorant for now.
I'm already liking the bit of switch up that the defenders are doing at the moment. Cutler and Hayes, excuse me, they actually just both pushed up towards Long B together to get that ult orb early, but it's also a ton of free information for their trouble as well, for their money. And, well, I mean, although things continue to be a lot more of the same that we saw in the pistol round, Sub Rosa finding that first kill, there's still at least a decent shot to get this spike down, and from there, maybe they can just hope for a round. There's a trade through from Dev. Not a bad start, and actually they're going to be able to improve upon it. Hey, caught off guard completely, but they need to get the spike down. They need to start playing around this objective. Then this round becomes a little bit more palatable.
That was a big recon bolt, but even then,
what the hell?
Loner popping off! He gets himself 2 kills with the shorty. Now Sub Rosa, last one in a 1v3, has himself a Spectre. Trying to make his way around. He's not going to find the tripwire. And now, just a bangable wall there in Hookah. It's already real rough. Still, trying to make his way around. He still has no clue where anyone could be, but the attackers have full idea where he is. So Broza is just in such a rough spot right now. And there you go. The spike is starting to tick down, and Sabrosa, he's not going to have time to actually go for it. Just going for exit frags, and that's going to be him taking down Devastation. Other than that, the attackers, what a great round.
That was a full eco. Like, again, I sung the praises of Loner a lot in their last match, but he really was also like a massive hero on that one. Sure, he didn't get the initial entries, but he stopped any sort of rotations, excuse me, from happening. I probably should drink some water for the first time in like 3 hours.
Right. Stay hydrated, my friend. Stay healthy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, none of the players on the side of Big Frames were mouseSpaz were exactly healthy on that. I mean, that just was crushing. I don't know how they lost the pistols of all things, but everybody from Hayes to, well, pretty much everybody except Sabrosa was just completely bogged down by it, and I don't know how that even happens. Like, I can't even dream of that in my unrated game, much less an actual tournament when you're C number 1 versus C number 2.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, just looking at the run from both teams in the past couple of weeks in terms of, you know, these initial smaller Valorant tournaments. I mean, you had mouseSpaz I think a day ago, taking top 3 in the I think it was the Pittsburgh Knights tournament game yesterday, and it was filled with just top level squads. And now continuing their success here in the Fragadelphia tournament, but let's see if we can maybe get some action. There you go, Hayes throwing out a couple of bullets over to Hookah, but the attackers, they've already cleared out that area. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, that's a wrong game.
It's still the right move in this game. I like it. They're teleporting through over to A and actually making a full rotation back over towards mid. They're man down, Upmind. What are they playing?
I mean, really just planning to just make a group execute at this point because, I mean, I don't know if they know, but the defenders, they put all of their eggs into one basket, and that basket is called the A side. But even then, you have Welshie making his way in and getting himself the only pick that he needed on this B side to take down the frag. I mean, it's not a bad idea to have a Cypher solo on that B side, just staying down as recon, but with 25 seconds left, especially with the defenders and their economy not being too bad, they shouldn't be stacking up like that. They shouldn't be gamble stacking. They know better. Now it's a 2-on-3 retake for the attackers.
I mean, to be fair, though, they were low. I mean, their economy wasn't exactly great. They're forcing up pretty much everything that they possibly could, and they're actually getting okay results out of it.
Right. Now it's just down to Wardell. And Wardell can't get in either. The defenders in a 3v2 at the very end there. They just go down to the last two. That's the Sage and the Brimstone going big.
And that kind of hurts a little bit too, because they actually did have guns on their hands right there as well. So, I mean, that would have actually been their best chance. It seems that they actually do better when they have pistols in their pockets. And, well, because of that, they drop the round. And that is going to lead our boys on big frames to actually take the lead early on in this game. But still plenty of Valorant to be played. I'm not sure how long that headline will be lasting. Default here. Lots of util used early from the defenders. Holy hell, they are making site theirs, or not mid-site, it's mid-A area. There's that Sabrosa? He just teleports behind Nerf. Just told him nothing personnel, kid. He just eliminated him. Are you kidding?
Buenos dias, Mandy.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's Sabrosa too, going to use his ult all the way back at spawn, but this is a very predictable spot to use the ult. And then Sabrosa hasn't taken on any sort of action yet, but the attackers essentially stuck in their tracks just looking for Sabrosa.
Oh my god, this is worst possible case scenarios. I mean, Sabrosa just literally teleporting right behind that player at mid-A. I don't know how he got that, and like the sound keys were just not there, but then he just uses his ult to tele behind as well. And I mean, Sabrosa, sure the attackers take the site here, but Sabrosa is still present, and they have to really worry about that dagger in their back facing, because he is about to become very, very lethal.
Right, and the attackers are expecting this. Here comes Sabrosa. Sage did put down the slow orb. Your Lulu in a beautiful position, but even then, that's going to be Sabrosa with a wide swing, taking him down, and now it's down to a 4-on-2.
How does he get that?
Down to Snow. Welshie can't make his way through. Devastation, though. A little bit of a counter wall for himself. Fake defuse. Drone. Still just trying to go for it. Now it's just down into the raise in Welshie, and that's going to be the defuse here for the defenders. A big statement round for the defenders off of a big hero performance on the A site from Sabrosa early on.
No, that was... we haven't seen a ton of Omen play. You've seen a lot of people saying that Omen is the worst character in the game so far. I think we just saw everything that you could hope for out of an Omen. Literally every part of his kit was used there to absolute perfection by Sabrosa. He has done that teleport play a couple of times, and it has worked both times. He basically just tosses out a smoke over towards mid, jumps inside the smoke, and then teleports right behind that player, right in towards the spawn. And it has worked. It has like this insane success rate. I don't know how it's still working, because there are noise cues that are made, but I mean, Sabrosa won that.
It might just be, it might just be a little bit of cheese. Who knows? Who knows? but still, great moves. And now, again, that B anchor cipher just putting in, just taking so much information incredibly early on in this round. And you already have Taste trying to get himself even more information for a swap, but instead it's going to be the overstretching of the defenders on the rotation from the actual attacker spawn. That's going to actually leave out a couple of players. Big flash coming in from the Brimstone, but instead it's going to be Devastation taking down Hayes, and now it's a 2-on-5. These rounds are just going back and forth. It's just trade after trade. And here comes Wardell. Gonna put up a wall. Gonna have to go big. 1, 2, but not gonna connect with the third. Devastation hits those for breakfast. And 3 players surviving for the attackers in the end. That's a 3-2 score. As now the defenders, I mean, I really don't know how to even predict these rounds. No matter what kind of buy they have, no matter what kind of utility they actually use early on in these rounds, it just seems like both of these teams, they just find a way to just full stack a site and just flowchart it. Take these 1v1 gun battles, and that's all they really need to do.
Especially since they're winning them with like this insane success rate. It's perfect. We've only played Bind today. Yeah, we literally have only played Bind today, so we haven't even seen what these teams are like on Haven nor Split. But
right,
I mean, Bind has been delivering. I've seen a couple of very nice plays. I like watching it. I'm keeping an eye on Rosa here. I thought he was about to pull off something cheeky, but never mind. Looks like not. No more cheese this time, but he still is searching for that cheddar. 3 investment in.
Color in a great position. Whoa! There is just a player hidden on site. Color is well aware, but so much util being used in a single spot. The Raise Nade gonna come on in, take down Wardell. Loner with the shock charge takes down another, and now it's just down to 3 on 4. Make that a 5 on 3. Pure Lulu. I mean, his ultimate. And there you go. Here comes the Brimstone. There goes the take on site. These attackers, they're so coordinated on these takes, but they still have a Sova. Oh, they still have a Sova and an Omen right now. Drone going big on the ultimate, taking down 2. But even then, nerfed. Devastation coming over to the back line. And I mean, that Sage Wall ended up destroying the hopes of the attackers there, as the attackers just went out yet another round. I'm sorry, I meant the defenders. Ruined the chances for the defenders to actually retake the site. But, I mean, hey, what a round coming in here for the attackers.
Talk about a really costly round at that. They had to use 3 ultimates to win that one. I mean, that's great, but I don't even feel like that res was necessary, nor was that orbital strike. Like, I mean, just getting that Sova ult in of itself, and getting that first kill and having that double entry onto the B bomb site was huge in of itself. I don't know why they needed to use 2 more, but they secured the round despite the heroics of players like Drone and Sabrosa even. Just not quite good enough. It was a 2v5, I believe it was. I mean, I'm surprised they made it that far, but
oh my!
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, no, the Brimstone ability ending up going against his own teammates. It seemed as a couple of them were pretty much flashed and stunned.
I mean, the breach ult?
Yeah, that.
they look the exact same. I don't even blame you there, but I mean, I guess we'll get a good name for ourselves here. I mean, they'll both be left alive. Actually, wait, no. It looks like the breach has actually died. So unfortunately, Hayes is no longer showing in this. Let's lots of fun times here in Valorant. Definitely not mixing up agents every here and then, but
right.
I think eventually things will find their conclusion, right? Upmind?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. We actually do get our first save here, and some handy camera work from our man Bogdanovich, looking at the slick player model here on Cypher. Oh, we got ourselves a new player model view, new POV.
See, I wish I wasn't having to watch my own POV, because I want to see what's going on in that lovely action.
Oh, it's sick.
Feels like I missed from the best part. Nonetheless,
there goes a run. There goes a run for the attackers.
It's like, let's get off the subject. But, I mean, you know, that was a pistol save. I feel like the defenders, worst comes to worst, they lose that round, but the fact that they save a gun, that's pretty good. That helps their ego just a little.
Yeah, no, that was stellar. It's gonna help out their economy, and not only that, but just kind of, you know, in those pistol runs, at least now in Valorant, you kind of want to kind of go full recon mode in a round like that. Kind of rush in, see how the attackers would actually kind of react to a situation like that. Just to you know, just to test the waters, see where your players are at. Oh, but what a spot for Wardell. Trying to go for another one. More wallbangs coming in. It's gonna be
that was wonderful.
Recon bolt again. watching over Hookah. Oh, that wall bang. Going dangerously close. But still, there's so many players just laying around there. What a great wall built up by the Sage to try to counter Wardell. But the high angle is going to end up in a frag against Hayes, but Wardell with a trade with the operator. Now still a 4-on-3 before the attackers can even make their way on to a site.
This is such an awkward hold right now. Wardell is single-handedly winning this for his team, though. He's gotten up to 4. Couple of which were through wall bangs, but now he's going to be looking to finish the job with the Phantom. The rifle apparently is going to be the thing that finishes up the job here. Spike is down. Rez is through. Just make the deal even harder. Keep that eco up. Nerf, last one standing, will only find 1 kill. Ace is denied, but Wardell is still very much the hero of this round, making it free for the defenders. Honestly,
no, I'm trying to think of Bind in terms of, you know, if you would be a defender or an attacker side in map, because we see, you know, just the oppression from the attackers on these sites, but you know, they're so open that you can't exactly choke out players, anything of the sort.
Them down.
If anything, B would be a little bit more attacker sided, but even then, the choke point of Hookah is quite the hot spot for attackers, and it would just kind of pinch players down without really taking on any repercussions for the defenders. But even then, you know, we're looking at a very well balanced map here in terms of Bind. I think that's probably why players have been picking it pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so far today, it has been very defender-sided. We've seen a lot of flawless defense sides. And, I mean, me and Laz, in the last game that we casted, kind of decided, yeah, we think this map is defense-sided, so...
Gotcha.
You know, still, execution is another beast entirely. You see the defenders are struggling in this round, and been struggling so far, but Drone is single-handedly making this round slightly more possible. He's gotten quad, holding down onto this ace all by himself. He's searching for the ace here. Nerf has no idea where he is. Drone, oh my god, it's gonna be nerfed or nothing. Searching for the ace right now. Look at this, they're both sneaking around each other, and Drone spots it, can't quite connect the shots. Drone, unfortunately, the ace is not quite there. He's gotten more than 1 today, I believe, so far. Unfortunately, the double isn't quite there, but it will be Cutler to finish up the job. 4-5. I mean, that was really all Drone, and in the past, it has been a lot of these incredible solo plays. You know, you saw Wardell also step up, Subrosa. I mean, it's really only been Cutler and Hayes who haven't had their time in the limelight.
I mean, I just love the play there from the attackers period, just trying to get that cheesed out. Spike plant, and again, I mean, not exactly able to do so. I mean, you don't exactly expect someone to just walk out of a smoke like that, and
right?
Well, I mean, there you go. Hazed, of course. I mean, he's a I guess you could say a veteran, a veteran in tactical FPS. So if he spots a person, he's gonna be able to spot him out. But early ult usage coming out from Drone, and using pretty much the drone perfectly, and then into an ult. Kind of boy, Drone with a drone.
I honestly gotta say, I think this is why it has to either be AZK or Drone who's my favorite player to watch so far in this game. I love the way both of them play Silva, but Drone literally plays Silva exactly the way I do, and I could not be happier about it. It's like I'm watching myself only if I was better at this game.
Right.
Flawless round for the defenders. I mean, I don't even feel like there's all too much to talk about in that one, too. It was just really incredible gunfights. Literally, they took every single one that they could have possibly hoped for. Only 1 ult expended on the defense side as well. The ult economy for mouseSpaz in these past couple of rounds has been next to flawless. Like, they are cycling these perfectly. Pretty much.
Absolutely.
Trying to think. I mean, yeah, pretty much the only good thing that is going for the attackers right now. Obviously, they have 5 rounds. That's nice, but they're really close to a bunch of ultimates. And although this is a full save by them for the most part, next round, when it's going to be 5-6 most likely, they have a real shot at evening things up.
Ooh, I like this sneaky drone play there from Loner, clearing out Hookah, but wasn't actually able to spot out the Brimstone on sight. There goes. Oh yeah, no, there goes a recon bolt, but even then, it's not going to spot it out. So they have a couple of choke points where they could actually try to hold on a couple of these players. But then again, this B site so perfect for character like Omen. Not Omen. I mean, yes, Omen in terms of Hookah, but also in terms of Cypher.
That was an recon shot by Lorna too. Oh god, oh god, Hayes, oh god, Hayes! Oh, he's out!
Oh, wow! Yes! And then the Hellfire coming in from Nerf, digging out another one, and now it's just down to Loner in a 1v1 after taking down Drone over to mid. Wardell has the operator in hand. Gonna actually catch Loner off on the rotation. He can actually take away the tripwire right after. But what a round there from the attackers, but somehow the defenders able to scrap it out.
Yeah, they've been able to pull off a little bit of comeback. 4 in a row now, searching for number 5. That was a round I was hoping they would win though. Like on paper, they had almost every advantage in the book. They had more ultimates in case they needed them. They had better artillery. They had even better positions early on in the round. But now, I mean,
I will find you.
It's up to Big Frames to try to make this 6-6. This has already been a pretty promising attack side, at least in my opinion, from them. Having things even heading on to the second part of this match would be even bigger, though. For now, though, it's all quiet on the Western Front. Not really much to go around here. No utility even expended by the attack side so far. They're just kind of waiting out. For example, that Omen over towards mid. Owl Drone is used, though, but it even gets rid of a tripwire for its trouble, so this already is looking good for the attackers so far, I'd say.
The attackers currently just looking for picks very early on. Just starting to go recon, just trying to find out where these defenders are actually posted, because, I mean, the defenders have been playing a really good dynamic of both 2 and 3 players on the site. And they usually hold on Sabrosa near the middle of the round, and then Sabrosa kind of around the 20-second mark, if they don't get too much action, would be rotating real quick. He does put in a lot of work very early on. A great smoke already put up. And well, she can't exactly contest that, but Wardell actually catching off one over to A, and it's going to be the full rotation from the attackers over to A. Omen actually teleporting his way over to A, and again, just beautiful rotation from the defenders. No doubt about it. There's going to be a couple of players flanking that bathrooms area. It's a 3-on-4. So much damage being done, and the spike plant being denied. Drone with 2 kills. And then Sabrosa just scrapping up the last. Barely any time left for the attackers to actually get something going for themselves in that round. But man, oh man. Big work being done here by the attackers, at least. You know, later on, I mean, in a 3v5, it was pretty rough. They actually treated that pretty well, but it's just so tough. It's just so tough, especially when you have a Sova with pretty much full util at the end of a round, just holding on to that recon, able to actually shoot through those smokes, get down, get the T's down, get the attackers down, essentially to that mid choke point. And it's you know, it's sort of a rough time for a team like that. So beautiful work from the defenders, at least in this round. And now we trade over. It's the pistol round.
Yeah, now they're going to have to do their job on attacking. It's a pretty convincing T half, or attacker half, I guess we can say. Still on that CS vibe, I suppose. But
right, of course. We get there. I mean, it's like, what, week 2 of Valorant?
I know, still. People think of this as, you know, CS, but more cartoony. But we're starting to see that's a lot more than that.
Sure, absolutely.
5-7 though, as we're swapping over. This first pistol, I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to really, I guess, give an edge to one team over another. I mean, obviously, when you look at numbers, yeah, you do have to give the edge to mouseSpaz so far. They've gotten themselves off to a fantastic start, taking down Bjor. That's a Sage actually going down first, too. That's probably the worst possible person that they could have down first, too. Smoke's going through, but they're not warded off by them. Wardell and Co will still be pushing through. Nerf will find the first shot. has a response onto Sub Rosa, but the wall will go down. This is something that we saw mouseSpaz do a lot in the previous games, but they weren't ready for the counter nades. Welshi, he tries to deny the spike plant, but just can't quite get there. Now the wall will be torn down. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. It can't be done because the bomb is still active and they're still playing time.
Spike's already down. You have Welshi, Devastation, both finding kills. I mean, even more importantly, they found Cutler off the rotation over to bathrooms, and that's gonna be the defenders taking back the site. And I mean, man, just looking around the entire time and just picking out players one by one by one, and that's all you really need from a defender side, especially in a post-plant pistol round.
I mean, yeah, it couldn't be better for them. I mean, they were a person down almost right off the bat. They played that from a 45, basically from the start, and still won through. Like, especially since they lost their Sage, so there's no wall in play, there's no slow orb, there's no heal. I mean, like, those are all probably some of the best abilities in the game, just gone, but they just won those gunfights in such an incredible fashion, and they're showing that they still have a horse in this race here. Moving on to this next round, though, it's going to become slightly hard. There's again that Sub Rosa teleport that I talked about before. This time, though, it's in the other direction entirely. He's now stuck his way into sight, completely uncontested. He's going for his best Metal Gear Solid impression, but I think the jig is up. I think his position at least has to be known by the attackers. They're sitting behind the smoke, though, otherwise just trying to show presence, but Sub Rosa still could be a thorn in the side. Hopefully he goes undetected for now, though. Such a good potential spot here, though. You see that the defenders are being very careful about this latter side of the site, though, because they know it could possibly be prodded through. Recon bolt through over towards heaven here. Sub Rosa position now given up. Location given up. Literally nothing he can do other than just hope he can get a miraculous frag with that ghost pistol. Otherwise, from here, is this going to be a cleanup by the defenders?
It might just be, but here comes the picks. The defenders doing a great job, just kind of waiting around all of the, oh my god, all of the equipment and nerfed. It's just easy pickings on the last three players. One of them wasn't looking at the right way, another one was planning, another one wide swung. What could be better? Big Frames have tied up this game 7-7 off of a beautiful retake in the pistol round and just a good hold on A site for the second round in a row.
Yeah, they dealt with that perfectly. I mean, pretty much the only X factor that was there was Sub Rosa, but they didn't give him an inch. I'm not sure if they expected him to possibly be close to site like that, but they just completely gave up that truck plant, and you know, who knows, again, if it was a good read or just how they wanted to play their defense, but either way, it worked absolute wonders for them. All evened up here, and I mean, even when it comes to guns, it's still all evened up here. Nerf is just pushing through straight towards mid. Immediately finds one on his throne. Pure with a second. That's onto Sub Rosa. The aggression from nowhere out from the defenders is working out. Nerf isn't even traded out for good measure. How is this working? mouseSpaz, please.
Not expected by any means whatsoever. Big Frames. Just pulling up the sneaky strats essentially out of nowhere. I mean, they were a very conservative team in terms of defense. Early on in this side, the first two rounds, they just held down to these sites, and now that the attacking side actually do have a little bit of a buy in their hands, they just shut things down before things start getting spicy in terms of equipment usage. Good work from Big Frames.
It honestly does remind me, again, I hate to use a forbidden word, but it does remind me a lot of CS, and like how sometimes on those first gun rounds, you'll see teams that might not have the best equipment start doing some really strange, aggressive moves or something like that. And I mean, that's a formula that still sticks true even here. It's such a good idea because no one was going to be expecting that completely different push from the defenders up towards mid A right into their spawn, and it worked perfectly. They're still taking it slow. Oh, great. That's actually a huge orbital strike, though. They're actually coming in from behind as well. The defenders. Oh, God. They didn't even have to do that to them, but they did. That is so BM. I absolutely love that. The Brimstone ult came through to deny that to deny the spike plant, and then on top of that, Dev started pushing in through mid A, and plus they had someone just coming in from the back end as well. I think it was actually from Heaven, to finish it off. Like, the defenders were already in a very comfortable space. The attackers had almost no room to do anything, yet they still popped the orbital strike just because they knew they could get that round in the bag and even deny the plant.
Right.
Man, that is something that is beautiful to watch here as they now take the lead. Big Frames have officially completed the comeback.
Right.
They're now looking to go one step further here.
So extremely early on, we're going to see Sabrosa teleporting his way into Hookah with only... No, there's actually 2 players holding down B site. You do have Bjorlu holding down the angle. Dev all the way in the back. This team is playing retakes. They're going to depend solely on the Rays just to try to get a couple of opening frags. And oh wait, no, there's a Sage in the corner too. This could be big. Big wall placed down too. The Rays nade. Devastation holding things down. I was thinking that Cypher was going to get caught up, but instead, Dev, 2 straight headshots coming out of Hookah. You know, the attackers, they look so hopeless. Again, coming into this round, they had pistols anyways, so it wasn't really going to be too big of a threat going towards the defender side, but how well they just played this B choke was just so good. But look at this! The pistols open up the site! Cutler! What just happened? By no means should that have gone in the mouseSpaz side, but instead, Big Frames, they just take on these 1v1s that simply didn't need to be taken.
Especially towards the end right there, it just allowed Cutler to go absolutely massive. A quad kill, was it, at the end of that Upmind? Either way, it was something beautiful.
It was a quad, yes. Oh my.
I talk about a way to get back into the game, showing off why mouseSpaz are the #1 seed in this tournament. I mean, hey, Big Frames aren't much behind, too. They're breathing right down their neck. It's still all tied up 8-8. Again, more Valorant to go. The magic number that we're looking for is 13. For now, though, we go into a slower default here. No kills given up early yet. That means no defender aggression. And yeah, okay, so it was actually how the defenders just like to play the A site. They give up that front part of the site almost entirely, which allowed for an early truck plan. Something that I think is kind of interesting, and I mean, it has worked out for them in the past. Let's see if it will work out again, though, because that seems like a slightly harder objective for them. Attackers, are they committing? There it is. Okay, there's a plant through, there's a wall through. A 5v5 for a retake is very strange. I don't think we've ever even seen one at all today, but they have the utility to boot. This is actually very much possible. Wardell finds himself between a rock and a hard place, and actually will be able to, or will manage to get out of it relatively safely.
I know exactly.
Double Cypher will be popped through. At this point, it is just a cluster of kills back and forth, and Drone is finding all of them. Apparently, Loner now alone in 1v2, and the defenders, they pull off an eco.
Unbelievable. There is literally no way to call any of these rounds because, I mean, as our producer just said, and as I was just gonna say, Boggs, you don't. Hey, I know there are voices in my head. I don't need another voice in my head, okay, Boggs? So he tells me that was 2 straight ecos. Man, oh man, unbelievable that these two teams are able to pull out such magic with these pistols.
It just shows that anything goes. Like, these players are just so damn skilled. I mean, and there's a reason that they're the ones competing for $1,500 today, and we're not. We're just the ones talking about it. Like,
right, of course.
It's just incredible, honestly.
Right. And here comes pretty much the default from the attackers. You have 3 over to mid. Spike is all the way down.
Does that spam anything?
Over into the mid holes.
Oh wow! I was watching Sabrosa's POV for a second. He sprayed a part of the wall that I didn't even know you could actually spray through. But apparently, there's nice little wall bang there. But anyway, sorry. Back to the game at hand. I'll analyze that demo later.
Yeah, no, there's lots of, I mean, there's a lot of wall bangable things in this game, period. So just labbing out those is going to be a very valuable skill come just, maybe a month or two from now when things start getting real spicy in terms of pro play. But here we go already. Loner probably gonna spot out one here, but no, can't get the last shot in. Instead, it's gonna be Nerf. With already 2 kills. Spike is down for the tease, but oh wow, what a smoke there from the Brimstone and Welchie. Oh, Sabrosa with the lineup! Sabrosa! Over into U-Hole! And instead, it's going to be Devastation with a return frag. Now it's just going to be down to 1. Drone throws out the recon bolt and the spike. It's going to be diffused behind the wall. Very unfortunate there for Drone, but the defenders say we take those. Great utility usage by the end of the round, and you already used this word before, and I'll say it again. Just so many clusters happening towards that B site. It just seems like one hotspot, one corner towards a teleporter. It's just so rough. It's just so rough just to try to contest, and it just seems like the attackers, they're on the losing side almost every time.
It's just so awkward to play against sometimes. I mean, Drone did a lot of heroics there. That Sova ult was perfectly on point to deny any diffusers, but I mean, it just simply doesn't last long enough. You pretty much only get 3 charges with that thing, best case scenario, and I mean, he still took down a player with it. Sabrosa did his part as well, but the kills just aren't quite enough. And they end up losing the round just because Sova's wall is just that damn good. Bjor, sure, maybe he hasn't been fragging the hardest. He's 8 and 15 at the moment, but those walls have literally been winning big frames some of these rounds. Like, that is undeniable impact right there. As it's now 10-8, though. The attackers now with even less artillery than they had before. Sabrosa going for his usual smoke shenanigans over towards U-Haul. They're going to get a plant down for free here, Upmind. Or should be, at least.
Most likely, but they still have Loner looking onto the site. And wow, okay, that's going to be a clear. Reconning out Loner and choking down the spot. Oh, beautiful usage of the ult there from Nerf. I mean, a hotspot there on site. Nerfed! Peeks on out, still able to take down Hayes. And now it's going to be down to a 3-on-2. And all of the defenders over to heaven. That Cypher camera doing big work. And even then, these ults all spilling onto 1 round for the defenders. And it's all kind of mixed together for a beautiful, beautiful round from the defenders. The attackers, they had that site for free, but little did they know is that the defenders, it was all part of their plan. Retake scenario there. And I mean, big frames. They go big again. They have grand finals in their scopes. They just need 2 more rounds, Etoh.
They're nearly on to 13. I mean, sure, that was a decent amount of ults used, but that orbital strike changed everything. Wardell was basically right on the edge of that orbital strike. I watched it from like that bird's eye POV. Honestly, I didn't even think he would die from it, to be completely honest. And if he was alive for that entire thing, that could have been a potential res coming out. That could have been a potential heal orb. I'm not sure if he had a wall or a slow orb on him, but it just goes to show, like, having one player go down, just one agent in particular getting taken down, it changes the entire dynamic. That was looking so good. Again, it was heroics by Drone, the top fragger in the server at the moment. He's 20 and 13. It's just not enough. Only so much one man can do, apparently. Everybody's had their lovely moment. Sabrosa is trying to show off his lovely moment at the moment, taking down Nerf to start things off here. Again, that he did that teleporter play again, or not that teleporter play, that you know, that he went to his own smoke kind of play again. Think of whatever fancy verbiage you want for it here, because we'll have plenty of time, apparently, because we're soon finding ourselves on 12. It's a drone, or it's drone now, not the 1v3. And he had a drone to work with, but
right. So many drones to speak of in this game. We have,
I know.
We have actual drones and we have the drones. But no, hey, you're absolutely right. I mean, the attackers, they just keep getting choked off, man. It doesn't seem like they just have the right setups over to B to actually work with. And the biggest thing is that, of course, that A site is going to be tough. but we haven't seen these attackers even attempt to go to B ever since, what was it, the second round in the half?
Yeah, that round where they used like 3 ults, right? Something like
Right.
that. It's been a minute.
Right. And even then they got denied. So that
It's
is
something that I feel like they can
super
definitely
tough.
exploit more, and they agree with you. Or maybe they don't agree with you. Maybe they disagree with you, Upmind.
Well, I mean, this throw ain't for everyone, my friend.
I like how careful they're playing this, though. Look how little utility. Like, Wardell has not touched any of his abilities just yet, and he was almost entry fragging for a second there. I was a bit scared, but things are at a standstill now. Rosa making a bit of noise too. I'm not sure if that footstep was heard. Apparently not, though. Bjor isn't ready for it. He dies at the hands of the Omen. That leads a couple of teleporters to come through. So Rosa has now entered the site. Elvis Presley has entered the building. He is looking to put on a show. Oh, and he is doing just that. He finds another one onto Welshi. Nice clean shot. Loner is able to respond onto a teammate. Wardell actually going down again. It's Wardell. Oh god, I just realized. Wardell is like the worst possible person they could have going down in these scenarios. Yet he seems to be the first to die. It's so unfortunate. It's a 3v4. It's still very much possible, don't get me wrong, but it comes considerably harder because of that. Not to mention the Sage on the side of mouseSpaz, or excuse me, the Sage on the side of Big Frames isn't there either. It's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. There's still potential horse in this race. Getting another kill, though. Nerf is keeping things alive for Big Frames for the time being here, and the attack is coming out with volition at the moment. Loner now finds himself alone against 2 members while he has to juggle trying to defuse the bomb at the same time, but a double peek from Cutler and Hayes will deny any chance of that happening.
So I was gonna mention earlier, I mean, I do like the fact that the attackers, knowing that most of the defenders are going to be paying their attention over to A, they do put most of the bodies there. But the biggest thing for me was the lurk, of course, from Wardell over on that B side, just getting all of that information. But not only getting all of that information, but knowing that the Cypher is going to be that B anchor, his only job there was just to try to just seek out all of the equipment being used on that side, and he did it perfectly. Although he was the first one to die in the actual execute itself, he put in so much work to actually get the attackers a safe path onto that site, and that ended up equating into a round. But this one is nowhere near to being done. The defenders still so much to work with.
I mean, honestly, I even have to give the it just to Broza for that. He got a double entry on display as well, to be fair. But that was, again, off the back of that information from Wardell. So, I mean, it just shows team play means everything in this game, apparently. And, well, it continues now 12-9. Possibly told. Oh, I love that! Hayes! I'm not sure if you're watching his POV, but his brain is so wrinkly. He baited out that ultimate from the Sova, and it's not going to get anything because of that. He fakes the plant, and now it's going to be another ult that's going to be needed just to make this round work. And, I mean, mouseSpaz, they're starting to make this work a little bit more comfortably. They're winning all these gunfights now. Bjor pretty much going to be able to, or excuse me, Bjor getting the only kill in response on that retake. Otherwise, though, it's double digits for both teams. That was absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, mouseSpaz, they're making this happen one round at a time. Those have been 2 convincing back-to-back ones and really smart plays by Hayes in particular. Again, if you're watching his POV, he faked actually planting the spike, and that was huge. It baited out an ultimate for free. Something, by the way, I should mention Loner has been so damn good with. Investment.
Revealing area.
Minimal.
Oh yeah. So good. And I mean, economy in this game is gonna be, it's gonna be a skill in its own, in a sense. You know what I mean? When I mentioned earlier that wall bangs, just trying to find out where they are, but also just the usage of economy, because the pistols at this point, it is just proven to be so much different than quote unquote other tactical FPSs. You know what I mean? So it's such a tough task. Such a tough task for you to just go against a full defender side that's just stacked up on the site filled with just ghosts and sheriffs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because those things are still very, very lethal in their own right. I mean,
right.
Still very much a challenge that they have to worry about. But I think right now they're worrying about something else, how to make this retake happen. A whiffed recon dart by Loner doesn't exactly help their chances, but Bjork getting a frag certainly does. He gets him first, but, well, it's over just about as quickly as that retake started. 12 to 11, mouseSpaz are nearly forcing it to overtime. Or to end game, I think it's officially called in this. Are we going to be seeing the full comeback come through, Upmind? Because they're starting to make it look a little more convincing.
See, it's in these games where I wish that there was an overtime rule. You know what I mean? Because, first of all, this isn't a BO3. This is winners finals, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing the #1 and the #2 seeds of this tournament facing off. These are two teams that have made so many big moves in the world of Valorant already in just the span of 2 weeks. And we're seeing them go at it. And they can't get themselves an overtime. They can't get themselves a second mount. That is so that's devastating. But you know, we could probably see a run back of this in a BO3 grand final. So I'm very excited for that, to say the very least. But hey, the attackers, they could definitely do this. I mean, they're posted up. They have all of the equipment that they could possibly need.
Take flight.
And a couple of ultimates that would be so useful. But
yeah, but the defenders are evenly matched. Too.
Exactly. I'm very hopeful for the defenders. And I mean, wait, what is this?
Conga line over towards B?
Right, that's weird because they did.
Sabrosa.
They tried to use the owl drone, but they didn't see anyone. But here comes the actual thing.
Oh no, Welshie!
Oh no!
Just when he was using his ult, he got denied. That is huge. That is actually game changing. That is overtime, perhaps. The orbital strike will come through as well. And Hayes, how is he? He's barely hanging on to that by a thread. Drone gets in with his action as well. And this is where all the ultimates are coming into play. It's use them or lose them. And right now they are using, it seems every single one of them. Loner. As the smoke fades, so will the hopes and dreams of closing it out 13-11. It's OT.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe you
Technically OT. Down to a 13th round for both of these teams. Every player is going to go down to half usage, half orbs, half charge.
5K to
all of their ults, and 5K for everyone. So, I mean, this is as even as you can get in terms of economy. But, man, oh man, in terms of just momentum at the moment, in terms of just picking and prodding of tactics and whatnot, the attackers, they've just figured out this defense. But the last thing that they can do is get antsy. Lots of these players already stacked up over to the A site. Pretty much ready just to pick out a player or two. And I think we might just have to go back to tactical FPS basics. Take things slow. Keep things clean and simple.
Look for those kills if you can possibly get them too. Utility mainly from the offense being expended pretty early on, and I'm surprised there's not a bigger fight for those ultimate orbs. There's almost no response from the players over in Bathroom as the Breach takes that one over, and that could be huge for actually entering into sight if they can even get that far, and that's a different question entirely, because they seem to have hit a wall as of recently. mouseSpaz, they're making it work.
No more charges.
4 rounds in a row, looking for number 5. And obviously, Big Frame's looking to deny this, what would be incredible comeback. And look, this game is delivering, I think, in pretty much every way that you could have hoped. Drone is leading the charge by far, 27-16 at the moment. I said he was going to be the player to watch heading into it, and I am far from disappointed on him, though. I'm going to see if he's going to be choosing to entry out in here. Teleporter play coming through, and here comes the push. Here comes the fall. Here comes the last push. It's going to be a gorgeous shot from Joan to start things off here, but the defense are striking back with a vengeance. A couple of their own as well. Walls expended, slow orbs expended, and the wall and the spike have both gone down. Now, we're into the very end of the line here, and Wardell wants to finish it. A gorgeous one on DeLoner might be one of the final hurrahs. Or the side of Big Frames here. It's nerfed or nothing.
No way. He's got an eye on Wardell because he is making his way in. Still trying to find some sort of way to take his way outside. A 2K for nerf. No, it's a 1-on-1 to win the game.
my god, he denied
Even
screen
then,
sword as well.
Nerf knows exactly where this last brimstone is. Still looking around.
Oh god,
Oh,
no.
has almost no time to work with. Has to chase the frag. Can he get it? Does he have time?
No, he doesn't have it.
No, he
Oh my
doesn't.
god.
A spot in the grand finals for mouseSpaz as Big Frames lose, what was it, 5 rounds in a row. So it's going to be a BO5 in grand finals. BO3, I'm sorry, BO3 in grand finals with the one map advantage. That formatting is really weird to me. That makes me have a thinkies moment in my head. But yeah, no, that was quite the game there from